Okie doke. For those of you watch on the replay, apparently I'm live. We'll have to see how this goes. So if anybody comes in, go ahead and let me know that you're here by leaving a like and chatting it up a bit. Usually it takes YouTube a few minutes to take and send out all of the notifications, especially when it is an unscheduled live stream, like this evening is. All right, so tonight, I'm just in the shop. I'm doing the work that needs to be done, which is cutting up cardboard. We get a load of cardboard in the shop, both buying things in and also just excess boxes and stuff that we use for shipping and receiving. So I have an absolute mound to work through. And so tonight's a great night to take and work on it. It's not overly cold, so I'm going to take and work on it now. Hello, everyone. Good to see you showing up. So, Stephen Parsons. Thank you. There goes my hero. I don't know about I'm being anybody's hero or not. So, what I'm working on tonight, and I just figured I'd hang out with everybody, chat. We might chat some business. I'd like to share a few thoughts on that for anybody who's aspiring to take and do blacksmithing full-time for a living. So I have some insights I'd like to share on that this evening as we get to it. But I'm doing the necessary things in the business this evening, after dark. Nice quiet things to do. Basically what I'm doing is I'm making backer plates. I'm using cardboard boxes that we've broken down, and I'm using these as backer plates for blanks to go on, because it helps rigidize things up, and it keeps things from being super pokey, so it doesn't bust outside the boxes and stuff. So I put my blanks on this, and then I wrap them up really nice and tight with some cellophane wrap, and it's a great way of shipping them. So it's the way I recycle my cardboard. I recycle it into useful things, and then the rest I use as kindling for the fire. So like a piece like this, I don't save pieces like that. I just set them aside while I make other different size pieces. So you can see I do something like that size, something like that size. Just depends on what type of item you may get. Just cut stuff down and keep working. Good to have everybody here. Oh, hey, Possum Sausage. I got a package from you today, and thank you, sir, so much for that. It was great of you to send so many great items for the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream. By the way, can anybody hear me? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. I'm just doing a lousy little cell phone cam stream. Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. I know this is going to be one of those lower production quality streams. Hopefully, still valuable to somebody out there. It's time to work with the box cutter. See what we've got here. Good. You can hear me fine? Good. Audio's good? Great. Yep, Stephen Parsons, a knife sticking out the side of a box would be bad. Hello, Thomas Goodymoot. Hello, Veteran Ironwood. Good to have you here. Oh, Wiley, howdy. So while Thomas is at home slacking, the boss is in the shop working. See how that works? Guess you gotta let them go home to their wife and kids at some time, huh? So the key to this kind of work is to have good music or good banter back and forth. It's a pretty monotonous task, but it's kind of a necessity if you want to take and have really nice shipping abilities. And I should say I'm not actually putting this in any sort of specific sizes per se. I'm just kind of eyeballing everything and hoping it's close. Got another piece here. Yeah, that's right, Bill. That's why the boss gets the biggest share of the profits. Actually, Thomas is probably at home working on hooks. He has been selling like a madman horseshoe nail hooks this month. So he's probably made 1,000 or more of them boogers. So he's been selling like crazy. Yeah, hand model life balance. Steve Parsons, I have to earn your like. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I can earn people's likes. Ah, so he is heading out to the shop in a few. See, I'm making him feel guilty. And by the way, folks, don't take any of it to heart. Me and Thomas joke with each other all day long in the shop. We got really good camaraderie in the shop. It's nice. It's actually refreshing. Thomas only cries every now and then, every other day. And then it's my turn to cry. I'm going to tilt you all down here in a minute. Just kind of show you what I'm up to. Kind of see what I'm... You can kind of guess I'm just cutting cardboard on this bench top that I don't care about. Again, just making up different size pieces of cardboard. Just based upon what I know looks good for quantity of things. Boom. I once got going too fast on this and ended up like sticking myself with a box cutter, so got to be careful on that. Treadle, that reminds you have something to ship. Better get on her. Dana, thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate it. Well, thank you, Rob. I like the hat. Keeps my head warm. It's a little too cold of an evening for it. I tilt you all down a bit more. Well, you're still not going to be able to see a whole lot. You're seeing more of me in the frame. Hello, hello. So this is just a random hangout stream. Come and go as you please. I just got work to do in the shop this evening, so figure I'd bring everybody along for a day in the life, the real life of an actual blacksmith here, business person, and what it actually looks like, and what it means to be one. It's not as glamorous as what you may believe it to be. There's no Ferraris parked in my driveway, I promise. Don't believe me, just ask Thomas. Uh-oh, it rhymed. Mainly just trying to watch my fingers, make sure I don't cut nothing off that I still need. You know what I'm saying, folks? Don't cut things off you still need. probably take a break here in a second and just converse with y'all for a bit. Good way of doing it. Making it more entertaining than just watching really cut up boxes. As you see, it goes pretty quick. If you have a buddy to help, you can phone a friend situation. Makes it go even quicker. Boom. Hello, Roy. Just use a sparkle filter. Sparkles. Snowing sparkle filter. Yay, yay, yay. What a mess that is. Some of these boxes, when I get them and they're just really just mangled up, if I've got to do a lot of like really intelligent incisions and cuts to try to get this to just go just right, a lot of times I'll just like, that one's for the burn pile, you know? I'm not into spending a ton of time working on this. And the other thing is, if it's really flimsy, like it's been real tore up, got some moisture on it, cardboard is not a fan of moisture. So if it gets real flimsy like, that's another time I just chuck it to the burn pile as well. So this little technique here works for about 80% of boxes, I would say. Somewhere in there. So the other thing too is you don't want something overly dirty that you're sending to your customer. Now we're just shipping blanks, so with these, so it doesn't really matter, but you don't want the box to stink when your customer gets it. Doesn't speak very highly of quality if you're not careful. What we got here? Awesome, Bill. Glad your Jeep lives again. Monday is shipping day. Every day here is shipping day, except Sunday. Evening, Rusty Hubcap. So Jessica has it listed on the site when that great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream is. I highly suggest you check out the description. Not in this video, but in the last live stream video we just did. Last week, I believe it was. And I highly suggest you check those out. They do have, Jessica puts all the dates in the stream for that. You don't want to miss out on that one. Brings me to another little thing I want to talk about. So I do see quite a few channel members that are in here. So Laura Wimley, hello. I see quite a few channel members in here. It is my plan during the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream coming up in December. It is my plan to do a show after the show. And so the show after the show I'm going to do is going to be just like a chill, sit down, hang out with me and Jess kind of stream. And we're going to be doing that for our channel members that have supported us all this year. Just to try to take and give back a little something extra special to the people who've been, you know, kicking in heavily for the shipping costs and things like that. So we're wanting to do a little extra special stream like that. Right now, we're slotted to have a very busy giveaway live. In order for me to get through all the items in 2 hours, I have to give one away every 5 minutes. So there's a lot of things to give away. So, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that being said, it's going to be a pretty gnarly stream. Lots and lots and lots of people there. And we've been told in the past that people are like, oh, I don't like going to the stream just because, you know, too many people in the comment section can't have a, you know, a proper conversation with anybody. And so we're going to do like a hangout. We're going to do a hangout stream for the channel members. So, you know, if you want to become part of the Bellows Boy tier, we'll announce it during the stream as well. But I think it's like $4.99. This isn't a grift. I'm not trying to get your hard-earned cash. I'm just trying to do something extra for all the channel members because basically I suck. I haven't done anything for the channel members. I've accepted your support and I've shipped out giveaway items because of that, but I haven't, you know, don't feel like I've done enough this year for all the support I've gotten from the channel members. So I just wanted to have an extra special stream. So for that. Yeah. High Desert Forge and Ironworks. A linger longer kind of event. So yeah, it'll just be me and Jessica inside sitting on the couch, chatting it up with everybody from 9 p.m. till whenever. Okay, PM to AM asked, any tips on what to sell for my first craft fair on the 3rd? I'm making candy canes, but other than that, I'm pretty lost. That is a great question, if you're still in here. So, icicles are pretty easy. Candy canes are pretty easy. John Switzer just did a video on like a folded snowflake kind of thing. You know, where you make a pattern and then you chisel cut it out, maybe add some texture or detail and hang it up. That's like ornaments. That's all fairly easy. If you can forge some pipe, candlesticks, like little candle holders and motifs, little candle motifs really help out during those because you can have something with candles and like, oh, I could make that, you know, people think I could use that as a place setting. Bowls, dishes of any kind that you can create as like place setting materials, that really helps out as well for you know, craft fairs and things of that nature. I don't know how much of this you can get done. Utilitarian items of just hooks of all sizes and shapes, you can really get done a lot of good work with just hooks as well. So, you know, like it's a utilitarian item. Everybody can find a place on a wall to hang a hook or put a jacket or a book bag or something like that. So hooks are huge. If you have the stock material, like Lauren Wimberly said, yeah, fire pokers. You can do squirrel cookers, depending on what type of event you're at. Sometimes those don't do so well. Meat skewers, those are really good. You could do meat skewers. People like those. Those lean more towards grilling, but people think, hey, Dad likes to grill, so we can get him whatever. Or Mom, they like to grill, so we can get them a set of meat skewers. They're pretty easy to make, and they don't cost a lot to make up front. There's a whole host of things like that. Now, I will shill my own product here for a second. If you're on such a tight turnaround time, I highly suggest you check out our website, blacksmithingblanks.com. And there are a ton of projects over there that you can either get ideas for yourself, or you can purchase them very quickly and make a quick turnaround on them because most of the work's already done. You might have to throw a little bit of texture, put some holes in it, that sort of thing, which is great for quick turnaround times for the craft show table. You know, I would say I'm pretty decent as a smith, but even a fire poker will still take me, if I'm not making a ton of fire pokers, I'm just making like a one-off for a show just to see how it goes, or a set of 10, they'll still take me anywhere from about 20 minutes to half an hour to make a full-fledged fire poker, and that's with a twist, a rat's tail on the one end, and an actual poker end. And so, depending on how much time you have, you may not be able to whip out a ton of those. You never know. Never know. Great question, though. Squirrel marshmallow forts. I like that. Yeah, everybody in the comment section, you know, help a brother out. Comment what you like to sell. You're very welcome, PM Dam. Bill Will, he said, blanks I got were so clean, took seconds with the file to clean up the few tiny beads from the plasma cutter on all 6. These were 12, 10-inch, and 8-inch round barbecue grill blanks, not small. Yep. Well, thank you. Thank you, Bill. We did our best to make sure we make sure all of our blanks are as super clean as possible. When I first started, it was only me in the shop, and I didn't really have the tools set up to really handle dross removal that well. I do now. I've got all the tools set up for dross removal, so all of our blanks come out almost 100% dross free now, or we send them pretty darn close to. Yeah, dinner bells, that will go well as well. Thank you all for mentioning the blanks and talk about that. Greatly appreciate it. A real easy seller in the hook department. Go out, watch my video. Please watch my video on horseshoe nail hooks, and go get you a box of horseshoe nails. It's going to cost you like 20 bucks. There'll be 100 of them. You turn around and sell each hook for anywhere, depending on the market. You could get anywhere from about $1.75 per nail, all nail hook finished, all the way up to say $3, depending on what it is. You know, to $3.50 even, $3.50 per nail hook, depending on the size of the hook. And they don't take super long, and they're pretty fun to make. You just ask Thomas. He's busy working on them tonight. So they do pretty good at venues. Yeah, over at the website we have over 100. Last time I checked, we had like 130 plus. So we have more than that now. So we have 130 plus different types of blacksmithing project blanks over at our website. So plenty to choose from. All right. Yeah, bells are a great idea. Troy Fox, I'm glad. And Michael Wright, yeah, so many blanks. There are a ton. Not gonna lie, there are a ton. So I don't want to be too facetious with saying, but it's very true. In my opinion, you can't really be facetious unless it's untrue. You know, you're not really shilling something unless it's really like you're giving inaccurate information. We have the largest selection of blanks, period, online. And we have the fastest turnaround time, period, online. So I actually had an order. It came in yesterday. It was for a guillotine toolkit that we sell. It came in yesterday. I printed it that night because I was out in the shop late. I printed the order last night. I shipped it first thing this morning, and it's already halfway. It's already in Saginaw, and it will be to the client tomorrow. So, came in on a Sunday, left my doorstep Monday morning early. Will be there tomorrow by late afternoon tomorrow. And so, fastest shipping in the business. Fastest shipping in the business. The only thing that takes us a long time, right now, just because we don't have we're just setting up the capacity this year for it, is custom orders right now take a little longer just because Jessica has to draw them up in her free time, which she doesn't have a lot. She homeschools her kids, and she keeps up with me and all the other related business stuff and keeping up with your guys' questions and things of that nature. So that takes us a little longer to get those done. We put them as priority ones, but it takes a while to draw stuff, because when somebody sends you something custom, it's always a new challenge. So it's not like it's something you've made 400 of and all you gotta do is just plug it into the machine and go. You actually have to spend a good amount of time tweaking stuff to get it right. Make sure your scaling is correct, make sure the size, the dimensions are all right, you know, and tight. It takes a lot of work to get all that right. So, or as we are finding out, trying to do custom work. So those have a little longer lead time than what are regular blanks that are listed for sale on the website. At most, our turnaround time right now is like 3 days. We have a 3-day turnaround time. That's what's listed on the website, but we're generally getting it out within 24 hours. Hence, Roy's working in the shop tonight. So that might bring me into a little bit of business advice. I would like to talk about in tonight's stream, if you all will indulge me. Hopefully this will help some of you out there that are, you know, getting started into this great craft, no matter what facet you're choosing to pursue. Maybe you might be choosing to pursue a manufacturing facet of the business. Maybe you're trying to pursue the supply side, be part of the supply chain and supply other blacksmiths with tools. Maybe you are just 100% an artist, right? And you just want to make inspiring works of art and have that, and you need somewhere to start first, right? And you want to be internationally known someday, something like that. Well, my advice, again, if everybody will entertain me here. So I'm working tonight in my business. Now, for some people, this would seem like, man, that's a drudgery. Oh, you got to work late, you know. Oh, that's a lot of hours, stuff like that. And what I have found doing this and coaching quite a few smiths now in blacksmithing, you know, in business, trying to start up businesses, blacksmith shops. What I have found is there's generally two concepts out there, two predominant thought processes when you're considering creating a business. And I don't care if it's blacksmithing, but that's what we're going to focus on. It could be basket weaving. But there's two primary thought processes out there that people have when it comes to owning and running a business. And the first thought process is, if I were to work for myself, it's going to be nothing but me laying on a beach, drinking martinis, laying every day, laying in the sun, driving the Ferrari around, right? That kind of mentality, that idyllic mentality that you won't have to lift a finger to do anything. Once you just get the stuff selling, you'll just be able to go relax on a beach somewhere and have other people work for you and just do the stuff, right? Do the hard work, right? So that's one end, right? That's what a lot of people think, especially if you're disenfranchised with your job currently, or your boss, you think he's a jerk, right? Or she is a jerk, right? You're like, oh, they're such a jerk, right? If you're disenfranchised with your current employment, this is where I see most of that thought process. Well, if I worked for myself, I just have infinite time to just do whatever I felt like. Okay? So that's one end. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, however, is this thought process that when you get into business, it's going to be 200 plus hours a week. There will be no downtime. Get rid of your wife, get rid of your kids, get rid of your dog, get rid of your life, block all people on your family list and just focus on grinding and making numbers. And those two things at the far ends of the spectrum couldn't be further from the truth. Neither one of those is accurate. Both are completely false. What really happens in business, hello, Troy, good to have you here. What really happens in business when you're starting your own business, when you're starting to just get into it, you're green. You've never ran a business before. You're just trying to get into it. You want to work for yourself. Let's not even call it running your own business. You just want to work for yourself. You want to make your own, pay your own light bills without having a boss over your head. In that phase of your life, in your business, when you're working for yourself, you are everything to that business. You are the employee. You are the employer. You are the shop sweep. You are the mechanic. You are the electrician. You are the plumber. You are the roofer. You are everything. You are the accountant. You are the financier. You are the backer. You are, you're all those things. You're the salesperson. You're everything to that business, right? And so therefore, it takes a good amount of energy, like with anything else, to get something rolling and going. So it's going to take you a lot of hours. In fact, you're probably going to work more hours than what you're working right now at your current day job, just to bring in about probably half your pay just to get started. But if you can live through that, if you can go through that, if you can work through that, if you can grind and hustle through that, there's better, easier waters on the other side, right? You're going to have to go through that storm and that emotional turmoil and all that upheaval and everything at the front of your business, and you have to survive through that to make it to the other side where there's calmer waters. The other end. So that feels like you're kind of here, right? You're going more towards that extreme end of the spectrum. Again, that's completely false. I don't work 200 hours a week. I don't even count my hours anymore, how many hours I work, to just be honest with you. I'm on all the time. That's just what I do. But I enjoy it. This is something I love to do. I love serving the blacksmithing community, and I love working in the shop, and I love creating beautiful things with my hands, and I love the life that it affords me, and I love the ability to go around, teach, demonstrate, and continue to propagate the craft of blacksmithing out there. And so therefore, I work towards that closer to more of that extreme end of the spectrum out of necessity and out of personal drive and ambition. But it's because I want to. It's not because I have some magical number that I have to hit, otherwise my truck's going to be repoed, the house is going to foreclose, that sort of thing. It was very true early on in the business that, yeah, those were very true things. Those were like, okay, we need to eat this week. So I better work like 4,000 hours so this way I can work. So this way we can eat this week. Okay? So working hard doesn't equal outcome in pay. Just to be 100% honest. So we'll go the other route, right? The life on Easy Street. Indulge me for a few more moments, if you will. The life of Easy Street that everybody thinks that running your own business is. To run a business is not for slackers. It's not for slackers at all. If you think you're just going to be able to just live on Easy Street, you're going to get into the business, you're going to turn it off onto somebody else and have an employee do it, and you'll never have to worry or stress another day in your life, that couldn't be further from the truth. So to be slothful in your business is to tear down your business. You will not have a business within a year if you come into it and think that you can buy your way to the top. You have to work your way to the top. You have to earn your way to the top. There is no easy road here. So that's kind of some of the things I want to kind of dispel you know, the myth about running your own business. Now, how do you make it successful, right? How do you make a business successful to where you can live off of it? That's a very real question for a lot of folks out there that I'm sure some of you have, is how do I actually make this to where I can live off of it, right? And there's some naysayers out there that say, there's no money in smithing. You can't make a living doing blacksmithing. And, well, those people are not people you need to take your advice from. You can internalize it for a second and say, that's an interesting theory. And then just walk on to somebody who's a bit more productive in life. But how do you make it successful? You make a business successful, and I would say about 90% of businesses succeed or fail. And I'm talking specifically in our craft. I'm saying broadly, but specifically in our craft. They fail not based upon whether the product was good or not based upon whether they had enough revenue or not based upon the owner of the business or not. They succeed or fail based upon your ability to manage money, to do a budget and stick to it. And I do mean stick to it. Really pay the hard brass tacks when it comes to doing the budget. Sit down and be honest with yourself of what you need for a living to make a equitable wage, right? An equitable wage. You need to sit down and you need to get that financials figured out right away. If you don't do a budget now and you just kind of like, well, I get a paycheck and I just spend it on whatever, you're not going to make a good business person. You've got to have the business acumen to know that you have to set a certain portion back. You have to cover your expenses. You need to know what your expenditures are. You won't know that up front, but you need to start outlining for those things as they come up as issues. Like, oh, hey, I need to put propane in my forge in order for me to forge stuff, right? I need to put, propane in my forge in order for me to forge stuff. Well, how much propane do you use? Well, you're going to know after your first month or two, certainly your first 90 days in business for yourself, on average, how much propane you're using, and you need to set back enough income for that. So when you make an item and it sells for $200, you don't take that $200 and go run down to the bar and have yourself a nice weekend. That's not how it works. A business is not your personal piggy bank. It doesn't work that way. At least not a successful one that will be around for a long time to come. So, and especially when you start moving up into the world where you're managing large checks from clients. And I'm talking projects that are in that $8, $10, $12, $20,000 range someday. You got somebody who's going to hand you their life savings, and they're expecting you to manage that well. And out of that, you might have to pay subcontractors. You might have rental equipment to install something like a gate, or a lift of some sort, right? For railings or this, that, or what have you. A whole host of other things that might happen with a job, and you need to allot for those expenses appropriately. Now, I'm fortunate I have Jessica that helps me out a lot with my costing on jobs, things like that. She's really meticulous about it, and so am I. So, we tag team that issue together. Some of you aren't as fortunate in that department where you have somebody that can just tag team it with you. And, in that case, it makes it a little more difficult because you have to take extra time where you could have been out in the shop working. Now you got to take time to do the unfun stuff called, basically having to do the math, the bean counting, as it were, which I absolutely hate. I don't really like bean counting. I like forging, but the bean counting is a necessary evil. So my recommendation, if you're going to get in it, start yourself a very simple budget, and you will survive most storms that come down your pike because you've allowed enough money to be back in order for you to be in business for yourself. Uh-oh. I lost somebody. Yep. High Desert. That's right. I would be lost without Jessica. Paul Carnage Creations. Paul Fontanini. He said, I have a problem with balancing the art side of things and the craft side. I really like doing the sculptural work, but have to do the production work to make money. And exactly, that's what happens. So, I mean, it's always going to be that balance, right? I have something that I'm working on in 2023. What I'm working on in 2023 is a masterwork grill. I have to do that in the time that I'm not doing my regular business. So I can't just stop everything and just work on that because I'm not a hobbyist. I make my living at this. So with that being said, that's my artistic thing, right? That I want to do, that I'm choosing to do. I don't have to do it. I want to do it. And so it's up to me to allocate the right amount of time, the what, when, where's, and how's, how that has to be, in order for me to be able to, pursue the stuff that I care about and that I want to do. Now, that's one of those deals where this is where a budget really helps you out. If you don't do a budget, you don't know where you're at. How can you tactically attack a challenge like a business or a big bill in your company if you don't know what the challenge is, right? If you don't know where your money's coming from and where it's going to, that is your beast in your business that you need to take and figure out first and foremost. And I'm making it sound kind of scary. It's not really. It's something you learn progressively over time, but you have to go through. That's why I said you have to go through those dark days at the front of your company. Just getting it takes an immense amount of effort to get the thing going. But then once your name's out there, you start getting more jobs, you start getting more word of mouth and clients, and things start moving and they roll and they keep going. Then you start leaning back. Now you start coming from this hard, having to work super hard, and now you're rolling more towards the life on the easy street. Now, you never get over here to complete easy street. Maybe you do when you retire. My plan, my goal right now, I'm putting money back in retirement, but I'm going to die with my boots on. That's my plan. So, God's going to take me out of here first before you're going to catch me laying around on a couch and not doing anything. I will always be doing something. It is unfortunate that in the time that I've done this, I have literally seen the Bachmaker's just staring at the lumber behind me. Yeah. There's a whole host of stuff up there. In the time that I've been doing this as a career, as a full-time blacksmith, I have seen dozens of blacksmithing companies come and go. So everything from little shops to guys who bit off way more than they could chew. And ultimately, the two killers of those things has been the inability to properly budget for, showing off my wealth. Money. But yeah, it's been the inability to properly budget with your expenses. And that's where most of them fail. Now, I know we all love, let me go get some more boxes here in a second and grab some boxes. Now, I know we all love big power tools and equipment. We all dream about having that gigantic power hammer or press that we've seen on TV. in our shop someday. And that is where most of the larger, quote-unquote, larger companies go awry. They start too big for their britches. They don't have a client base. They rent a studio space that's like $10,000 a month, and they start in debt, and they finish in debt, woefully so in debt, because they didn't earn their way there. They thought they could buy their way there. So they got too big for their britches, so to speak. When it happens to smaller creators, smaller business people, where they're, you know, just getting started start from a hobby and start going forward, generally it has that mindset, okay, I just want to quit my day job. So you go out, you quit your day job, you start working for yourself, and you start spending all that money that comes in from your hard-earned efforts. You start spending every dime of everything that comes in just to take and pay your bills. And then what happens is it goes in reverse. So you start spending money from the next month's income to cover your buying of tools or equipment or whatever. And then that feeds into you getting to the next month and you're bone dry because you already robbed all the profit from that month, and so on and so forth. And it's this reverse cycle until you build up enough debt that you can't maintain that cycle anymore and the business closes. Because the thought is you're spending it like as if it was your paycheck, like as if somebody else was just paying you and all you had to do was work. Because outcome is not proportionate in a business. It is not proportionate to input. Really isn't. Sometimes you put out 180% and you get back 3. Other times you put in 3% and you get back 180%. So it varies. It really does vary quite a bit. So those are just some thoughts. You're free to talk amongst yourselves about that. What you think about it. Agree, disagree strongly. However, these are just some observations from the time that I've been doing this as a business, which has been over a decade plus now. And again, I've seen a lot of businesses come and go. And I plan on being one of them old fogies that are still around 35 years from now. Anything could happen and take me out of the game. Who knows? But I plan on being around for a long time to come. All right, let me sit down for a second. I'm going to answer some questions here. Take a break from the cutting of cardboard. Michael Bingham. Roy, how did you decide on products that actually sell? So, the way that I decide on products that actually sell is I post and ghost, post and ghost. I post and I relist, post and relist. I make it and I post it. I make it and I post it. I make it and I post it, and boom, something hits. And once something hits, then I'll make some variations of that to just see if that was a fluke, or will it continue to go, right? So, for instance, if you make a hook, that's a leaf hook. And say you made a whole bunch of other different things, but this leaf hook, bam, it's sold. So you make another one, bam, it's sold. Those should be the alarm bells to say, there might be something to this leaf hook. Well, I'm going to make this leaf hook with a little brass brushing. Bam, sold. Now you add up 4 or 5 of them up there. They all sell. You know you're on to the right track, and then the market decides what is worthwhile out there. I have made stuff that I was super proud of, and it's still sitting on my shelf. And I made stuff that I'm like, I don't know, throw it up there for $100, see if somebody takes it, and couldn't keep enough of them in stock. And it was something I never wanted to do in the first place. It just sold like wildfire. So that's kind of how it works. You really don't know until you do market testing on your own. And so you have to send out, you have to constantly be putting work out there. Take care, Troy. We'll see you at the next live stream, brother. So that is how That is how you find a product that will sell. If no one knows about you, if no one can find you, then you don't exist. It doesn't matter how hard you work. You can put 100 hours into being the best blacksmith on the face of this earth every single day of your life, and, well, every week of your life, and still never get found and still never be able to do it as a business because you're not in the right places. You're not putting your work in front of eyeballs that are looking to purchase said work, right? So that's the important thing. So if you think about it as like casting a net, right? If you cast a net that's this big around out into the ocean, the odds are you're not going to get a whole lot of anything, right? But if you cast a big net, something the size of a house out in the middle of the ocean, if you're in the right area, guess what? You're going to pull in a lot of fish. It's just a numbers game. It's a numbers game. And in today's day and age on the online sales, really it's about metadata. It is about getting as many points of contact with your name on it, feeding that into the system of Google as many times as you can. And that's what it's all about. Because Google is trying to find ways of making money off of you. Whether that's serving ads on your content, serving ads on your little sidebar on your website or whatever. They are looking for ways of making money off of you. And so if they're trying to do that, they have a vested interest in you to try to get you out there. But you've got to take and throw yourself out there, and you have to do it often. You have to constantly do it often and constantly repost your items, especially on places like Etsy or eBay or Amazon. You need to constantly hit those relisting fees and make sure your work gets out there. And then hit up your local markets, your craft shows and things like that. And you really have to hustle your tail off at the beginning of your business. And then you'll find these things that, like, they're just little gems that they are your bread items and they lead to butter items. Bread items are the things that keep you fed, keep your lights on, keep you smithing for another day. Butter items are those ones that you're like, whoa, this takes me very little time and I make a crud ton of money on. Those are your butter items. Or another way of thinking of your butter items, it leads to your passion projects, right? That you really, really want to do. And it helps fund those. Great question. Graham Pepper. I've got a blacksmithing friend who is building hoof knives for $200 each. 4 different designs. He wants $50K for the business. Is that worth the time and effort to take a loan for that? Ooh, good question. That's a loaded one that we could spend a long time on, Graham. Before purchasing anybody's business, you're very welcome, Michael, by the way. Before purchasing anybody's business, it is your job to dig real deep into their business. That means not fake numbers like, well, I mean, I sell stuff for $800 an item. I'll sell you my business like $2.2 million. It means nothing, right? So it means absolutely nothing. I can state any facts, any little numbers out to you. What you need to know is how much his cost is per thing he's making, per item. That's his cost to make it, how much he sells it for, and what the profit and what the return on that investment is. That is how you go about purchasing somebody else's business from them outright. One thing also to keep in mind, is he the face of the company? Or is it just a faceless company where he's just supplying it to some trading company somewhere and he's just doing wholesale work? If it's wholesale work, you can just basically just step right into his shoes, if you will. You could step right into his forging shoes if you can produce a similar product, the same product, and he gives you his business contact that is buying 100 of them or 200 or whatever it is, then yeah, it could be worth it in that way. But you have to get real curious about their numbers when somebody wants to take and sell you their business. Now you said it's a friend, so I hope it. I hope that could work out well for you if it's a friend. Sometimes that does do pretty good. But don't believe just inflated numbers. Really dig down deep into the actual core math of what they're doing, because they may say 50K, but that could be pre-tax, and that 50K could actually turn out to be more like 18K income. So are they making 50K gross? Are they making 50K net? Those are the things that you have to look at when you're trying to buy another person's business. I've been approached 3 different times to purchase other older gentlemen's businesses. 2 of them were wholesale, 1 was custom work, and in all times they were wanting basically what they would have had if they would have put money back in retirement. And so they were just trying to get out and have something to live off of. And in all cases, they really didn't want to share real deep on the numbers or the math. And so therefore I passed on them. It sounded like a great deal. It sounded like it could be good. It came with a ton of equipment, blacksmithing equipment. I could have probably went and got a loan for a business loan and made things work. But at the end of the day, what really came out to is they were basically the face of their business. They were mostly the face of their business. The people who were buying from them were buying from them specifically because they wanted something from them. Just like, would you guys put up with somebody else being the face of Christ-centered Ironworks? Right? Like, what if I don't no longer do tutorials and I don't do any more videos, and you see somebody else, I don't know, we'll get a guy named Chuck or something in here, and Chuck does all the videos. No, you guys support me because you guys know me, and I've been around a long time, and I've been constantly trying to invest in your all's lives for 7 years. We've built this thing together, right? It's together. It's us, right? Yeah, maybe Jessica's, but I mean, that's fair enough. She's like way cuter than me. So Graham Pepper, it might be interesting to look into. It might be interesting to look into. Like I said, I wouldn't jump unless you know what the profit is. What is he actually bring home out of the business? Not what's in the business, but what you can actually live off of. Now, there goes the thing about the budgeting, right? Being honest with yourself. So out of everything that we earn here at Christ Center and Ironworks and blacksmithingblanks.com and all the whole bit, right? Everything that we make, Jessica and I still live on an income that is anywhere between $30,000 and $40,000 a year with a family of 5. And believe it or not, that's actually still considered poverty level here in the United States. So a family of 5, I should be earning like 150K, a year, but that's not, we don't do that. So to cut that much out of the business, I earn a lot more than that, but it all goes back into the business. YouTube is operated at pretty much a loss. It's a complete loss is what YouTube is operated at. And I do it because it supports other ends of the business, but specifically I do it because I love the outreach and the connection I get to the blacksmithing community. And yeah, I mean, I've operated YouTube. I've operated YouTube as a loss for 7 years. If you really have to look at it, it's been a loss. It's been a loss in the financial sense, but I have gained the world. Oh, I have gained the world in the brotherly sense, in the spiritual sense, in just the family sense of the blacksmithing community. I have gained the world from that. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. Fingers one, advertising. Yeah, it's another big, gigantic data point to point people in the direction of the things I do sell and I live off of, right? That I live off of. So, that feeds my wife and kids, and me gladly, and I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, Nitro. There is more to it than money. There really is. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear that, Possum Sausage. I'm so glad to hear that. I I I never imagined the channel would ever be where it's at now. I would have never imagined that I would have had any sort of voice that actually helped anybody else as much as it has. And I don't say that to be arrogant at all. I get that all the time from people that, wow, you really helped me through this, or hey, you helped me get my business started. Thank you so much. I went to this because of you. I was inspired to do this great thing, and it's like very, very humbling to me to know. And I would have never guessed it. Not in a million years. That's not in a million years. It's not what I originally intended when getting on YouTube. And it's what I stay for. It's what I stay for. It's what I love. So, yeah, Lauren, yeah, you said bit more than me, Roy, but I'm retired military. I have no money. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, bit more than you, but again, I've got a full family of 5, right? So I have 3 kids and a wife to take care of on that, and I am the sole provider income in that. So, that's one of those things. So, I'm not out here. I ain't got the nicest, newest, whatever sitting out in the driveway. I don't, I live in a 900 square foot home. It's a trailer home. It's a nice trailer. It's been dressed up nice. I live on 8 acres of land in northern Michigan and on the poor side of Michigan. So I am not like ritzy, as you could tell by my backdrop. That's not just staged. It's not just staged. Oh, I am a working class dude, and I work very hard for it, but I have a passion for it and I love it. And so without a budget, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I would be none of this without God. I wouldn't be here at all. So I am so thankful for that. What is making a living? For each, it is different. 100K a year, health insurance, 401K, 40 hours per week. Yep. Can you physically do it? That's correct, Michael, right? Can you physically do it, Yeah. Yeah, Keith's been here. He can vouch for everything I'm saying, right, Keith? Everything I say. So like when you see upgrades on the channel, those are things that I have saved for months, like months, sometimes years. I've saved for years to have the finances to do so. Right? That's it. I save like crazy. I live below my means, and it's what we do. It's what we've done since the beginning. When I first got started in this, and I started the blacksmithing in the business, I had a car wreck. It put me out for 6 months. I was on a cane and a walker. I was on a walker to begin with, and then I was on a cane, and I had like short bursts of energy to where I could actually work, and the other rest of the time, like my whole bottom half of my body would go numb, and it would just ache like crazy because I put out basically 2 discs in that car wreck, and that took me out of my main trade. And so we lived off of garden vegetables, like lived off the land. I like no joke. Like I hunted and shot rabbits and possums and squirrels, and we ate those for meat and eggs from the chickens that we had, and just nothing but our half-acre garden. Like we lived off that, and I smithed, and I took up whatever little odd job somebody was willing to pay me for. My brother in Christ, Richie Krim, he came out in a huge way and gave me like, he didn't need my help, but he provided an income, paid me excessively. He really was charitable, but still allowed me to keep some of my self-worth as a man by employing me to do kind of bozo tasks. But I did them to what I could do, right? And so, like, yeah, I've worked hard and continue to work hard for this thing and going forward. So, you know, I can say with all assurity that if you want to do this for craft, this great craft for a living, there is a way. You can make it happen. You can work through all the little difficulties and come out on the other side. And you can pursue this passion in a professional sense and continue to take and do it long into the future. And, you know, that was a decade ago now, right? That was a decade ago that all of that transpired and sent me on this, on this new path in life. And, you know, I've never looked back ever since. I mean, I've looked back and been like, woo, wow, I'm surprised that we even made it there. So it's been a long time coming. Some people are like, oh, all that work and you only make 40K. It's like, well, I mean, think about all the work you do and you only make 40K. So, right? So it goes back to you're just not living on the beach, you know, just spending it like it's water. You know, you're not going to do that and run a small business. It's not feasible. There you go. Graham Pepper. Well, last year I made $2,500 a week minimum, but it was lonely. Now I'm on $900 a week, and I go home to enjoy blacksmithing or whatever I want. It's not all about money, right? It's not all about the money. Some people make it all about the money, but those are pretty shallow people. I'm going to read this one comment here. Gotta get my fat butter on this cardboard. So, yeah, Lauren, dang Roy, I and Lori are just an older version of you and Jess. Feel for you kids. I'm nearing 60 now. You're doing good. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that that confirmation that we're on the right track from you. I appreciate that. Hard work really does pay off, but it's not, you know, it's not everything, right? You know, it's not everything. You have to have a mind to keep balance in your life. It's very hard to do, especially in the day and age we live in, right? There's so many things that are calling our attention away from the things that actually matter in life. And, you know, eating is one of those things, right? Keeping the predators off your back, that's another. So, you know, it's very difficult. It is difficult. It's difficult to do these things as principles and to keep up with them. But I'd like to just encourage you out there, if you are watching the stream, and I know that some of you are new here and stuff, don't scratch your head with a box cutter. Don't do as Roy does. Hey, Doc, very smart. I would like to encourage you guys out there that are just getting started in this whole deal or want to do this whole thing. And, you know, maybe you have people like, what, you're going to do blacksmithing for a living? Good luck being broke, you know, stuff like that, right? You know, maybe you have a lot of naysayers in your life. I'd like to just encourage you that you can make it. You can make it. If you have the grit, you have the determination, the will, right, to succeed at this, and you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to tighten the belt and do the budget, you can make it. You can make it like Jessica and I can make it. You don't, heck, you might even go 3 times as far as what Jess and I has ever done in our lives, and you know, just be living on easy street. That could be your story. It really, really could. And I believe it to be so. I am an absolute example of God's grace and mercy on my life. And so I owe all credit there. But no matter how much grace and mercy you have, you still have to put in the hours. You still have to put in the work. You still have to be a willing servant. And I'm very fortunate. I was telling Jess the other day, you know, I was having some kind of fighting some demons, I guess you would say. It's not one of those streams. Calm down. Calm down. Roy's not actually out there battling demons. Chill. Demons is interpersonal struggles, mental struggles, if you will. I was having some mental struggles the other day. That box is so nasty, I'm not even going to try. I was having some mental struggles the other day because, you know, it seemed like every time I was trying to get real excited and amped up and jazzed about the live stream, you know, the giving away of stuff and things, like, it just seemed like something else would come and, like, kick me right in the nads, man. It was just like, really? It's like, you know, this person, you know, lost, you know, the packages. There was like 2 or 3 packages got lost in the mail. So I had to eat the cost of those and send out new, right? I had to, like, you know, there was a couple people that they got their packages, and because Thomas was so overburdened with work because I was gone for weeks on end doing demonstrations and shows, that, you know, he missed a few items and a few people's packages. So it was like, I had that to do. You know, I had a tree come down in the yard. I had, you know, it's like, you know, the septic tank, you know, it kicked a breaker and I had to, you know, fix it. And there was just like all these like little things. Like every time I had a positive thought about, you know, wanting to do the giveaway lives, wanting to, you know, like have that giving heart and that loving spirit and things like that. Every time it was like one other thing got shoved down the throat of like, ugh, it's another stressor that I have to deal with right now. Are you kidding me? Right? And so I was telling Jess about that, and that's why we ended up doing the St. Jude thing. So we decided to take in throughout, you know, the whole month of November up to December 25th, basically, or up till Christmas Day, we are doing a St. Jude thing where we take 10% off your order and we donate 10% of our income to St. Jude. And I do that, and I did that, and the way I shared before with it is I kind of do it a bit selfishly because I have found that whenever I'm getting just hammered, well, it was just totally getting hammered by life, and I'm fighting all these things and these negative emotions, I feel so much better when I just step out of my comfort zone and say, okay, I'm going to just put all that God's hands, and I'm going to just do what I can do. And so I feel so blessed to be in a position where I can do this act of service for the blacksmithing community, and that, you know, YouTube is where it's at, and just everything. This big old hamster wheel we've been on for 7 years is at a place where I can bless others, and I can do so generously. And, you know, I'm super, super pumped, super thrilled, and super excited to be in that position. And so I just kind of like, yeah, no, we're going to take and give stuff away anyhow. That's what we're going to do, right? We're going to be happy anyhow, period. You know what I mean? And I'm really looking forward to that. Let me answer some. The comments go away on the phone here, and I can't continue to read them when they just disappear, so. Take care, Debachmaker. Thank you for being here. Sorry I missed you if you went out. Good night. Thomas, welcome back. About time. Donald Roberts. Make millions and dread the work, or make hundreds and be happy and look forward to what you're doing. Don't drive yourself into a heart attack with money. It all works out. That's right. It really does. Yep, Bill, you're correct. You do have to take and research anybody that you take and give, you know, you got to take and give money to, right? There's a lot of wolves out there. Lots and lots of wolves. They're getting even more plentiful. Let me grab some more boxes here. Got like a zillion Harbor Freight boxes back here from Anvils. Poor Harbor Freight Anvils. Roy always destroying them. What a mess. I've got a bunch of boxes. You guys want to see it? I'll show you. It's an absurd amount of boxes, and we've been working on them for an hour. Yeah, and those are like actual shipping boxes we use. We've been working on cutting these boogers up for an hour. Still ain't no closer. Yeah. Might want to invest in a cardboard baler. You're right. Maybe if I had a bigger shop. So, somebody asked, how do you start a business without cash flow? You don't. You get started with where you got, what you have, and you develop cash flow. Be my suggestion to anybody who's wanting to get into this as a full-time business, try to do it without debt. First and foremost, build it without debt. You'd be much happier you did. If you build it with debt, this isn't some preaching thing about debt. I don't really care what you guys do with your finances, but it is a lot harder to get your head above water, and it takes a lot longer to make a return on your initial investment if you start into it with debt. If you have the debt, if you have the ability to do so without it costing you an arm and a leg, sure, go ahead. If you need that initial investment capital to start up. But generally what happens is people think, well, I need an Yang power hammer because I'm going to start a Damascus making business, and I'm just going to make Damascus, and everybody and their brother is going to want my Damascus. And then your business goes belly up because nobody wanted your Damascus. You weren't it took you 2 years to get to being at the top in that space, and you leveraged even more debt for those 2 years. And now you're up to your eyeballs at $1.5 million in debt, and you've already built a hole. You've already dug a hole into it. And although you may have a successful business after a couple years, you're so far in the hole that you're actually not making any money. I have an aunt that did that and spent so much money just getting the business going that, like, she's worked 70 hours a week and wasn't making anything because it was all going out to the creditors. Oh. Stephen Parsons. I gotta read that one. Said, Stephen Parsons. If you want to get started in this, dig a hole in around, put some charcoal in it, introduce some air, find some metal, hammer, and a sledgehammer head, and start doing it. That's right. Just a hole in the ground, you can do it. Yep. So like I said, I'm not trying to preach to you about your choices on that, but I will say it's extremely hard, and I do mean extremely hard to get your head above water. When you're just trying to keep the light bills on, and then you saddle yourself up with $400 a month to the credit card company because you thought you needed that tool when really what you needed to do was dig a pit in the ground to start to smith. Right? You needed to start there, but you went to buying a big commercial building and hoping, beyond hope that you would sell $10,000 worth of items within your first week of opening your business. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. It's a good night if I come out of this with all my fingers still. Working out this much cardboard. Hey there, Yamas. My friend from Island Metal Forge. Good to have you, good to have you. just talking business here in the shop this evening. I hope everybody's been finding this valuable as a work. Am I keeping it interesting enough? Hopefully I am. If I'm not, I can always shut off the stream and just listen to some podcasts and let you guys get back on with life. I got so many pieces that don't make the cut. Cool. I'm glad it's good, at least for one person. And I'll keep going. Yeah, Yames. Who's Yames? Who is that guy? Do we know a Yames? Yes, we know a Yames. Now this is the cardboard I really like. It's really stiff, thick stuff. It has like no corrugation in it. Oh yeah. Woo. That one go. Looky there. Boom. Comrade. Yes, you can call me comrade. So for all those of you that are joining us, I do want to take and shout out that during the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream, which we have a lot of items to give away, by the way, we're going to be giving away about one item every 5 minutes. So we have so many items to give away, and it's filling up even more as we speak. We're going to have at least one item every 5 minutes that we have to give away. So I'm going to focus on just using the Treadle hammer kit, the shop Treadle hammer, and some snowflake blanks. I'm just going to play around with that under the Treadle hammer because it's pretty simple. I don't need to really overthink anything. And basically, I'm going to take a heat. So I'm going to take a heat, forge on it, put it back, give something away. Go back, grab it, take a heat with it, forge on it, put it back, give something away. So it is going to be a wild, wild time and a wild, wild ride. For anybody who wants to come and be part of that, I highly suggest that you do. It's going to be a super fun time, and I hope everybody will enjoy it. It started off at about $2,500 worth of blacksmithing items we were giving away, and it's now probably approaching almost $3,000 worth of blacksmithing items that we'll be giving away, maybe a bit more over that. So it might be up to $4 or $5K worth of blacksmithing swag that we'll be giving away during the live stream. So, it's going to be hours long. Haha. Well, Yames, good that you mentioned that, and I'll answer you here in a second, Keith, here in a second. But you said how many hours long is it going to be? So we are going to keep it very strictly to 2 hours, a 2-hour window. We're going to do that because for our channel members, as an extra special treat, as our thank you from Jessica and I for all the support over the entire year, we are going to do a chill and relax hangout stream, a show after the show, like a Roy After Dark type stream for a more laid back and relaxed atmosphere without the giveaway items. We're going to be doing a member stream direct, like 2 hours after that stream. So we're going to go from 5 to 7 p.m. is going to be the Christmas live stream. That's going to be all the giveaway stuff. And then, so think about it. Every 5 minutes, I have to give something away in order to give it all away in 2 hours. That's a lot of things. So we're going to do that. And then from 9 p.m. till whenever. I'm not putting a time on it. It'll probably be from 9 to midnight, something like that. I don't know. It might just be 9 to 10. I don't know what we'll do there. But it's going to be a 9 to whenever, just to hang out, and just chill out and relax and have a good time chatting with y'all and you know, doing all that. So for all the members. Now, I wish I could make that. I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, hey, I just do another stream after and go live again. But I think what'll happen if I just make it just a public stream, you're going to have everybody thinking that there's more giveaway items come in and kind of just flood the stream. And there'll be a lot of spam like, I win. Did I win? You know, there'll be a lot of those type of comments like, when are you going to give something away? So that's why the, yeah, I'm scared. Roy After Dark stream. That's why we're going to do it a members only stream. It's just something that we want to do extra for all the extra support and channel members as a thank you to everyone. And then we'll resume our regular scheduled programming like we do all the time. I don't like doing things behind paywalls or anything like that, but I just like to make sure that I take care of people that have been taking care of us, you know, with the members chats, because I have been terrible about that. I haven't given you guys really any benefit to being a member other than just my good looks. So I got to do something for y'all. Something. Someone said, Matt Jr., you need a guillotine tool. What day is that? That is going to be during our Christmas giveaway live stream. I think that's the 16th of December, I believe. Leland Hawk, I just used the St. Jude coupon code for my Christmas ornaments. Keep fighting those demons, bad thoughts, or setbacks, whatever you want to call them. They can be a pain. Yeah, they sure can. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for the support. I look forward to doing that. Stephen Barnes, well, your beautiful face is just enough to scare small children and women away. He didn't say that. I put words in his mouth. Yeah. Hey, Yamez, since you're here, could you drop the actual live stream? I forget the exact date, what the exact date is for the live stream for me, buddy. Or anybody who is a channel mod. If you could drop the actual live stream date for the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream, I would be forever in your, I don't want to say debt, because somebody might take me up on it. Yeah, December 16th. That's right. I don't have the numbers gal out here. I don't have Jessica out here. Yep, that's right. Yeah, so that's going to be the more member stuff. We're gonna do that. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm thinking maybe of doing that in the new year as a constant theme to just add more value to those who are trying to support us through memberships. Just do like a stream after the stream. So we have the giveaway streams that, you know, those get pretty busy. They get pretty chatty out there. Sometimes it's hard to carry on conversations in them. And so I'm thinking about doing that where we just do a regular stream, you know, maybe keep that to an hour and a half, hour to 2 hours, and then do one that's another hour to 2 hour later on in the evening. That's just a hangout for members, to just hang out and chat amongst ourselves. And I'm trying to find ways of keeping the community, think of it like a small group, keeping the community fairly small. The larger and larger the channel gets, and the more popular, more eyes are on everything. I still want to keep that, you know, close-knit family feel on the channel. It's not just a feeling. I want it to actually be so. By the way, if anybody needs to get bolts in bulk, I can recommend these folks. The boxes aren't much to speak of. They kind of, like, when they send you stuff, they kind of suck. To be honest with you, that they put way too much in. You know, there won't be a square corner on your box when you get it, depending on what type of things you order. But it's where I order my supplies for my treadle hammer kits. For the hardware, for all the bolt hardware. If you need to buy something in bulk, they're a good place to go because they're a fast turnaround time and they're pretty cheap, depending on what you get. They have all sorts of different grades of bolts, you name it. So if you're working on a project and you need like 50 bolts, they are by far hundreds of dollars cheaper than a big box store. Like, I would not even think about going to a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or anything like that to get bolts or hardware. Bolt Depot does a pretty good job. Now, I'm not sponsored by them at all. It's just where I go currently. And if they're terrible in the future, I'll let you know. No one's ever accused me of not saying enough. Oh. We're not making a dent at all. I'll spin you guys around. Oh, God. Just so much. Not making a dent at all. Guys, see a little bit better. See some of the table. You can't even see the table. I gotta decide whether it's my head that you guys get to see or it's the table. That's just kind of boring. What's a hardcore follower? That's a diehard person that watches all my stuff, I guess. That's what I consider a hardcore follower. It's kind of weird. I just say a hardcore subscriber. It's kind of weird when you start saying stuff like followers, especially when you got the name Christ-Centered Ironworks, right? A little weird. People are like, what are they, a cult? I'm going to set you guys up a little bit better. I feel more comfortable with you looking at that way versus like the brow down. So, also, right after this live stream is over with, I'm going to be announcing over on Instagram /Facebook, because it'll post to Facebook as well. I have some treadle hammer kits that are my old style. So when I say old style, they don't have my Christ-Centered Ironworks logo on them. They're kind of like, they're just new old stock. And I've decided that I want to go into 2023 with, you know, all just new style, don't have any holdovers from the previous year when it comes to the not having the logo on them. Because I'm going to change out the pictures on the website to include the logo that I've so meticulously put into the side of the thing that, you know, the Christ-Centered Ironworks brand logo will be in the side of the new kits going forward. And so I want to take and get rid of my old stock that I have. And so I'm doing it at a severe discount. Basically, you have to just direct message me. Last time I looked, we did have somebody buy it already. But I had 4 available. Now I only have 3 available of them at this live stream. And who knows after I do my social media posts. But I want to give you guys a little sneaky peek there. Is that I'm selling off the old style. Functionally, it works the same as the new style. It just doesn't have the logo cut in the side. I'm selling off the base kit for $375 out the door. I only have 3 left that I know of still available. I haven't seen any notifications pop up on the phone, whether anybody tried to message me about it. But if you're interested in one of those and you want to try to call dibs on it, we're taking it first come, first serve. And whoever has the, basically, first come, first serve, and, how do I say it? Yeah, I only got 3. So that's base kit. It's $375 shipped here in the United States. or well, plus shipping there. It's $375 plus the shipping. And then you can always, it's always backwards compatible with the air assist. If you want to buy the air assist as an additional thing, upgrade later on, you can do so. But if you bought it all at the same time, that brings the whole kit cost with the air assist down to $575 for the whole thing. So we basically knocked $125 off. I know there was a lot of people who've been saying for months now that they've been saving up for one of our Treadle hammer kits. So, yeah, so there's been several people that saying, hey, I've been trying to save up for one of those things. I'm looking for it. Here's a chance of getting a really good deal. I'm not not making a ton of money on that at that point, so we're working for squirrel peanuts now for those. But I just wanted to do it and get it out there and get some more Treadle hammer kits in people's shops. And I would hope that that will help a few of you out there maybe obtain one of those things. Maybe if you ask the wife or the husband, pretty please, right? Pretty please, oh could I, with extra sugar and gumdrops on top? Maybe, just maybe, they might buy it and let you have one for Christmas. And those will be shipped out. When you purchase them, they will be shipped out next day. So we ship them out next day. And if you don't want to get on that, you just want to pay full price for it, you can do that and use any of our other coupon codes or discount stuff that we've been running. You can do that on any of our regular purchase items. So if you want to take and get $375, one for $375, and you know at the discount price, I believe I only have 3 left remaining. Email Jessica and I over at our website. You go, to Christ Center Ironworks or Christ Center Forge at yahoo.com. You do any of those. Go to our website through the contact page and just email us, and we'll see if we could get you on that dibs list to get you one at that price. Not a gimmick. I literally only have 3 of them. So, and once those are gone, it's just the regular old price. Because I still have to make money at them, so I can continue to fund things. Especially because we're going to have a lot in shipping this year. A lot in shipping this year. Eric, I was thinking about tree fitting. Tree fitting. Yeah, Boston sausage. You just build your own for $5 probably, huh? Stephen Parsons. Roy, have you thought about the exploding anvil myth? Just use a Harbor Freight. Those are considered real anvils, right? Yeah. There's no exploding anvils out there. Not unless you pack them full of powder. I highly do not suggest you doing that. Especially a Harbor Freight anvil. Yeah, squirrels have to eat too. That's right. Yeah, Eric. Shouldn't be more than $75. Yeah. $150. $150. The $50. So, yeah. So that's enough of that. I wanted to bring it out to you guys. You're diligently watching this stream and hadn't seen. I posted it to my members earlier to give them kind of a first dibs at stuff. I always try to do that if I got some tool to sell or get rid of out of the shop. I try to make sure the members are aware of it first and foremost before I put it out there amongst the others, amongst the regular populace. Ew. Well, that dulled my knife blade. Cut across a laugh with you, not at you. We all laugh with you. We all laugh with you. Ha. 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 Got such a great community here. Really appreciate y'all. Oh, I should also mention the last thing about that. I'm only really offering that deal until basically the end of November here, so 3 days. So I know that might take some people some time to get some finances arranged or talk to the missus or the fella, right? And so I know that sometimes that takes a little while to get approval down the old route there. So I made it till December 1st, basically. And then after that, they're going to go probably to next year's giveaway live streams or something like that. Just because, like I said, I'm going to change the thumbnails out on the website to the newer version with the Anvil with the cross logo in the center, and then I just don't want to have to handle with figuring out where these old style ones go in that persuasion. Beg and plead the missus. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Lord. Keith, no, sir. You should forge yourself a knife that never gets dull. Make some Damascus starting with a clean forged preheated anvil and plenty of flux. No. No. Not a doing. Not a happening. Strength. That's what that is. Yeah, Christ Center Ironworks brand flux, to be specific. That's right. Roy's random collectings of dust and whatnot. Chuck that down there. It's trash. About the only good thing this box was useful for is making up little cardboard sleeves for our blanks we sell. Yeah, I could make some flint strikers instead, huh? Come up with all sorts of good ideas, things I don't make generally. Cut this all up. Oh! This knife is so dull right now. So dull. See, this is my favorite kind of knife. You ready for this? Boop. Boop. Sharp all over again. No sanding. No super bougie tools. Sharp. Can cut paper. Look at that. Of course, if you apply enough down pressure. Well, I tell you what, razor blades are not, and I do mean not as sharp as they used to be. Yeah, cardboard is very abrasive. And when you think that it's got a bunch of shop grit on it, like in my shop, it's just been sitting. Woo! Like, look how my hands are. So imagine all that abrasive grit on there. Excuse me while I wipe the spittle from my beard. Ah. This is a very interesting stream, isn't it? Yeah, did I forge that knife? No. Yeah, in Hong Kong. Sure did. Yeah, by now I could make a living out of making a knife, huh? Thomas. Or you said you no, I didn't. I didn't do anything in a life. I don't know what you're talking about. Things my channel peeps accuse me of: making knives, pshaw. I never did that. I don't know what you talk about. Don't know what you talk about. You can't prove it. Now I'm in for it. Someone's going to go find the stream. So many years ago. Trying to throw you off my trail. Wasn't so many years ago. Was actually fairly recent. Yeah, past summer actually, yeah. That is one I'll never live down. So for those of you who don't know me, I think 31, we're all a pretty private group here so far. I don't know how many of you are new, but for those of you who don't know me, I don't have a problem with knife making. I have no problem with knife makers. I have no quarrels or qualms whatsoever when it comes to forging knives or otherwise. If that's what tickles your fancy, go for it. I'm happy that you're just in the craft. What I take issue with, and I've always taken issue with it, is that because of Forged in Fire, okay? Because of Forged in Fire, people, knife makers specifically, have been really enjoying their day in the sun, and it has come up to be where I've had several instances where my work has been told that it wasn't. It's like, that's okay, but you're not really a smith though if you can't make a knife, or if you can't make Damascus, or those are real masters that can make a knife or Damascus. I'm like, whoa, hold on, back that truck up. Knife making is not that difficult. It has its own difficulties, yes, but to be an ornamental smith kicks the pants off of being a knife maker any day. There's a variety of things that you have to learn, and you have to do, and you have to do well, and you have to do it multiple times and repeatable results than just making something sharp, flat, and pointy. So sharp, flat, and pointy is nice. It's hard to make something sharp, flat, and pointy and perfect and worth $1 million. Not trying to discredit knife makers at all, but back the truck up when you start coming to the table saying that knife making is the pinnacle of all blacksmithing. It is not. It's not even a cliff note in the world of blacksmithing. People are trying to get me in trouble with the knife thing. Hold on, let's see here. I got this. Give me a second. Whoop. Turn that off. Y'all turned yellow on me. Bam. Now I can see y'all. Yeah, I'm never going to live down the knife. I must embrace. I must embrace. We say, no, thank you. No, thank you. Oh, we're making a small dent, ladies and gentlemen. A very small dent. Yeah, so I've gotten the rap of being the anti-knife guy, basically, and it's just a joke. It's like it's a running gag for anybody who's new. I don't hate you if you're a knife maker. You go keep doing what you like to do. I do like to tease you and razz you, though. I will do that, because I do like doing that. That's fun. Yeah, never gonna live down the whole knife thing, the knife life. Froze on that for a minute. Am I still live? There you go. Yeah, two different things, Stephen Parsons. Oh. Yeah, I've ran into several people who, they, younger guys even, that just because they make knives, they think that they have ascended to the top of the ranks when it comes to mere mortal men in blacksmithing. And it's just like, no, you're not even close. You made a shank is what you made, and it wasn't even that good of a shank to begin with. Wasn't that great of an effort. You are not at the top end. And I don't care how beautiful the Damascus is or how well done the knife is, because there's some wonderful knives out there, but it won't hold a candle to the immense amount of effort and skill that is required to make something like the Notre Dame, like the Devil's Blacksmiths documentary, right? Like those type of hinges. Making a knife can't hold a candle to that at all. At all. There are so many things that have to go right on making a gate or a grill or things of that nature, that it really is, it stretches all the fundamentals of forging and the exercises. As where knife making, you basically have got to be decent at putting a point on the end of a bar and making sure it's flat at the end of the day. That's what you're trying to go for. So nothing wrong with it. Not that it's not valuable. Not that it's not extremely difficult to get the heat treat correct, to get beautiful layers in your Damascus and all this other stuff, and chatoyance and all these other things, and not that it can't be hyper complex like Alex over at Valhalla Ironworks. He does like really crazy looking pocket knives that are like folders and stuff, right? And they got mechanisms and things. Kyle Royer, wonderful at knife smithing. I know a bunch of other guys as well that are not on Instagram, that don't do social, that are fantastic and phenomenal smiths. Knife smiths, okay? Roll to save their life. Oh, we still live? It glitched on me there for a second. Hopefully we're still alive. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there's, like I said, I know guys who are professionally, they are master ABS level master smiths, and also journeyman smiths alike, and they couldn't roll a scroll to save their life. Really couldn't. Or do upsetting, do basic upsets of bars. They can't get it even. Collar work, forged collars. They don't do any slitting and drifting. They never do any punching of anything. They drill holes and stuff. They grind it flat on a, surface grinder. Their thing is precision with their knife work. It's not anything else. And so they throw it on the mill. They throw it on the surface grinder. They take it to the belt sander. They work their bevels in. They drill their holes with their cobalt drill bits. They put knife scales on it. They clean it all up. They do all their different things, polish it, hand sand. They do all these things, but they don't do any of the rest of the craft of blacksmithing that's out there. And so the only fundamental really that they've done is straightening, some bending, and tapering. And that's the skills that is necessary to learn of the basic skills of the fundamentals of blacksmithing. That is what's needed to be a knife maker. Everything else is finish work. Everything else is finish work. And being very meticulous with that finish work if you want to be a master at it. That and, clearly be able to do things with proper heat treat, right? That matters. Be able to heat treat things properly. Hello all. Hello to the people who just joined us. I'm going to stop after this box to talk a bit more. I'm going to grab one thing real quick. I'll be right back. Hello. Doot. There we are. So what we have here. Barn Cat Forge. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, Roger Codwell. The same thing. Yeah, and forging to finish takes more skill than forging and grinding. You're very right. It's not that cold. Not too bad. No. Yeah. So again, nothing against knife makers. It's just a different thing. But when you start elevating yourself like above the likes of, you know, the Mark Asprey's of the world, the Cyril Kolnick's of the world, the, you know, you know, you just going, you're going a tad far. The Tom Latinays, the Peter Rosses, the, you know, the Clay Spencers, the, you know, the guys that put in the work, the Francis Whitakers, you know, Samuel Yellens, right? You're putting yourself above. You're putting yourself above for something that you've made flat and sharp. It's a big difference. It's a big overstep in my opinion. Each craft has something valuable to offer one another. Like, I personally could probably benefit greatly from learning from a knife maker detail work, right? You know, flat, getting stuff perfectly true, edge geometry, things of that nature that can come out handy for other things later on down the road. Because, you know, who knows, man? I do want to make myself a bushcraft knife someday, and it would be nice to know those things and have those there. But I'm not going to start making sharp, flat, pointy things and then basically calling myself a master of all the industry has to offer, or toting that ego around when I go to shows or blacksmithing events and run into other blacksmiths. So I've made people mad. We went from 33 to 24 watchers. I irked off so many people. They're like, goodbye. All right, I'll sit down for a second. I think that's enough boxes for one evening. I am not going to get there all in one evening. Yep, ego is the killer of good. That's correct. It doesn't work with ironwork, good ironwork. Ain't you done yet? No. We have made a dent, though. We have made a dent. There is a dent. I can see the floor over in that general area now. So, we ain't too half bad. Yeah. I swear, not the rest of my shop. The rest of my shop doesn't look like that. It's just over here in this corner. This is like no man's land over here. It's no man's land. Bam! See if this table can take my fat butt sitting on it. If I go, yeah, that's a lot of boxes. Whew. Crazy hair. Hey there, Alex. Good afternoon to you. Well, at least I think it's afternoon. Your time. I did an exciting stream where I cut up boxes. Yeah, you gotta have a place to pull all that stuff out. You gotta throw stuff around. So yeah, so I threw. Yeah, that's our corner. It fills up. I clean it up, and it gets filled up again within just a week or two. It gets filled up again. So yeah, Thomas tries to keep the working area clean. We don't keep stuff underfoot in the working area. So we have one area that's the dirty area of the shop. That's where everything goes. Oh. Well, boy, I tell you what, I've had fun this evening. I mean, as much fun as you can have cutting down boxes, right? Oh. Hey, good night, Lauren. Is it Lauren or Lauren? Lauren? Alex, do you lie in the dirt sensually? I still get a chuckle from that clip. Every now and then, you never know. It's actually on gravel now. Oh, cool. I'm glad you made one, and your friend thought it was awesome, Leland Hawk. Jason Tanner, thank you for being here. Take care. Take care. So, yeah. I think I've talked about just about everything, haven't I, this evening? Main point of the stream that, I wanted to take and talk about was just the business portion. I wanted to take and encourage people on, starting your own endeavors, starting your own businesses, and let you know that, it's okay to put in the work. You don't have to fear for it. It's not like 90 hours a week. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But if you love it, it's not really work. It's not really work. I enjoy it. That's why I'm out here. I enjoy it. Even doing the monotonous things of, working on boxes. If I wasn't doing the live stream, I'd just be listening to some podcasts in my ears and just getting the time in, getting it done, So, yeah, missed the sharp and pointy rant. Yeah, I shouted you out, Alex, with the sharp and pointy rant that I just did. Oh, to give you a recap, all good things, all good things. I said all good things about you. Lauren. Okay, Lauren. Lauren, good to have you here. Yeah, that's why Alex showed up. He's like, hey, wait a minute. I hear something. My ears are tingling. Yep, you can spend a long time out in there. Especially in my shop, if you notice, it's very well lit. And because it's so well lit, like day and night fade together so easy. Like it could be brightest a day outside, makes no difference in the shop. And it could be the darkest of night, it makes no difference in the shop. You could just be in here working for eons, it feels like. And then all of a sudden be like, oh man, wow, it's 3 a.m. I need to go to bed. Yeah, Lauren, you've been here forever. Hello. Yeah, lit up too. And summertime, 90 degrees, sun. Whoa, talk about a heat stroke. Yep, you can get there pretty quick if it heats up to 90 degrees. Yeah, when I was working on my really fancy French Baroque style hammer that had a lot of bas relief engraving in it, or bas relief engraving, like I'd get in the shop and I'd start working on that, and I mean, like 10 hours would pass, and I would just like get up from it, like, oh, I got so in the zone, I just was like, just this, just didn't think about it, and then at the very end, that, I'd be like, man, 10 hours, and Jessica would be like, aren't you coming to bed? And I'd be like, huh? I'm like, my hands are all seized up, couldn't let go of the tools, because just time passes like that, in the shop. I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed that process. I have a lot to do with that. I have a lot to share coming up for my Masterwork Grill in 2023. That's what I'll be I'll have a lot of videos around that. Speaking of which, while we're here, you know, we kind of talk about some of the content coming out here soon. So I have some videos coming out. I went to Pat Nowak's shop. He is he's a good friend of mine, and he has a 500-pound Bradley strap hammer, and he has a 300-pound Bradley strap hammer. So I did an interview with him. It's going to be called an interview with an industrial blacksmith. He holds several degrees, of which are in metallurgy. So he's a very, very, very smart dude. He works at Scott Forge, which is a like an industrial forging plant. And we got to go on a grand tour of that. That was insane. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to share anything about the Scott Forge because they do military contracts, so it's all secretive. You know, you're not allowed to take pictures or do anything like that. So wasn't able to film any of it, but that was a great experience. But I was able to film quite a few videos forging a lot of cool stuff under Pat's great big gigantic power hammer. So that'll be coming out. I have a review video on a benchtop grinder for Vevor. That'll be coming out. I have what else? And I'm working on it currently. I'm working on finishing up the Baroque door knocker video. And so I'm going to have that out in full here real soon. So John Hayes, QQQ, question. Is there a place to buy railroad anvils? Have you ever dabbled in armor making? So, no, I haven't ever dabbled in armor making. It's not really my bag. It's not something I'm generally interested in. I did make a shield once for a guy, and it was functional. It's a functional shield, but it was more for decoration to put on a wall hanging. So I did make one shield at one point. As far as a place to buy railroad track anvils, you can basically find those on eBay. You know, there's several people out there that sell them. There's some guys out on Instagram that sell, some on Facebook Marketplace. You know, generally speaking, it's better to just find a piece of rail track, either at a local place or try to find somebody who has one or knows somebody who knows somebody, right? One of those type deals, and then just cut and grind your own. I did do a video on forging a piece of rail track with Thomas in the shop, and you know that was fun, and it really came out pretty swell. So I really like that. So, all right, question. Let's see here. High Desert Forge and Ironworks says, "Hey Roy, question. In making candy cane or icicle tree ornaments from small round stock, what is the quickest way to get all the forge scale off and leave them bare steel without a lot of hand sanding?" So I will say that the quickest way to get all the forge scale off is to pickle them. Probably the fastest way to do it, outside of tumbling them in something like a small concrete mixer and just let them tumble and beat against each other. The problem with a tumbler is it does knock off any sharp edges, so if you've got a point, it could dull in your, you know, brad over your points if they're super thin. So pickling and just brushing them with a toothbrush or a wire brush is the best way to do that. It gets in all the little nicks and crannies and it takes it down to bare metal. So that would be my suggestion. As far as to make them shiny though, tumbling is the way to go. The pickling is just going to turn them gray and eat all the forge scale off, but you'll have to do additional sanding of the highs and maybe a bit of wire wheeling or something to get them all fully clean and shiny. Pickling, just pickle it in your standard, I suggest a cleaning vinegar, which is about 10% acidity by volume. I would highly suggest that versus, or you could just get clear white vinegar, like, clear white vinegar. And that has about 5 to 7% acidity by volume. Is more like it's like closer to the 5. It's a food grade vinegar. Cleaning vinegar has a lot higher acidity content to it. So the food grade vinegar that you get at your local grocery store, your distilled white vinegar, you just leave it in there for like 24 hours and all that scale will go away. So basically, if you're making a whole bunch, just do it in big batches, right? Get a tote tub, fill it up with the vinegar, keep a lid on it so don't rust out your shop, and just chuck a ton of your iron in there after you're done forging. It can even go in hot. That's even better. Yep. Yep. Vinegar for 24 hours, a quick scrub into Windex works good for me. Yep, it's another way of doing it. So yeah, that's the quickest way for hard to reach places is the vinegar. When it comes to, if you want it to get kind of like pretty shiny, I can highly recommend using a using a tumbler if it's just not a complex shape and something that you don't have to worry about braiding the thing over on. Yeah, a wire wheel on a drill would be fine. You do want to clamp it in a vise or have it somewhat clamped up nicely, and it'll go pretty quick for you. Yep. And then another thing you could do is you could throw them real quick when they're all cleaned up. Don't touch them with your hands. Don't touch them with your fingers. Make sure you have gloved hands on, but put them on a baking tray and stick them in the oven, anywhere from about 350 degrees all the way up to, say, 550, or turn it on very broil. And if you do that, you can actually put heat into them without getting any oxidization on them, and they'll start oxidizing in a bunch of different weird, awesome colors, right? They'll have all these timber colors in the various thick and thin areas, and you can add a lot of interest that way. And like I said, all you gotta do is lay them out on a baking sheet and stick them in the oven for, like, depending on how thick. If you're saying icicles and candy canes, it's probably like an hour. Put them in for an hour, just keep checking on them, and they'll turn all sorts of interesting colors, and then spray paint them, and you're done. John Hayes, it's hard to do most blacksmithing for me. I live in the city with noisy and nosy neighbors. So, well, if you live in the city with noise constraints, something to consider if you have a basement, there's a lot of basement smiths out there that put their shops in the basement that live in the city because the earth insulates the noise. So, something to think about. If all you have is a garage, you can always think about adding additional insulation or sound bats to your garage. That's like platforms that stick off that have a little bit of sound deadening insulation in them that stick off like panels to deaden out noise and echo in your garage. And you'd be surprised at how little actual noise will come out and interrupt your neighbors and things like that. If you're out doing it under a tent and you're doing it like dark 100 at night, yeah, you're probably going to irk a lot of neighbors off, and that's not going to be good. How much consideration should be given for all the heat, George Anderson asked, for all the heat that is being produced by the forge, for having a forge in a workshop or basement? So, generally a good rule of thumb, if you have a forge and it has a good forge hood, you want to keep anything that is single wall thickness. That means it has no insulative barrier at all. It's just a single sheet of metal. You want to keep that between anywhere from 6 to, say, 14 inches away. It all depends on how hot it's going to get. If it's not going to get very hot, you could stay anywhere from about 6 to 12 inches away from anything combustible, and you're okay. If it's going to get super hot, like the back of the forge or like the actual hood that's like right above the fire, where it might pick up to, say 500 degrees even, it could get all the way up as hot as like what, you would put for stove paint, like a wood burning stove, then you want to maintain like a wood burning stove tells you to do and keep it really off the wall a good 18 inches to 2 feet. So stay away from combustibles, that is. Generally, your smokestack won't actually get that hot, so you can get away with that 6 to 12 inches, and you really need to check your local codes for that. Installing barriers like a sheet tin barrier, so put like some sheetrock up, put a sheet tin barrier with an air gap of about an inch is another way that you can install something a lot closer to a wall and get it to within, you know, a few inches of the wall and not have to worry, because it disperses the heat and there's not a place where it's baking and cooking the studs inside the wall and catching things on fire. So that's what you have to give out for, you know, consideration. Ventilation is huge, so you want to make sure you have good outdoor air coming in. That could be as simple as running a pipe, a 6-inch pipe. If you're in a basement and you've got studs that run out to a sidewall, you could drill a 4-inch hole in that with a hole saw and put you like a dryer vent cap that's, you know, out there as a screen to just bring in more fresh air into your basement. That's one way of bringing in additional fresh air. You know, you just don't want to put anything that is hot on anything that is flammable. You want to stay away from anything flammable. Use your best caution. When it comes to the ceiling itself, that's your biggest concern. The ceiling itself is probably your biggest concern. If you're in a basement, you're in a block. You're probably in a block basement of some sort, concrete basement. They very rarely are fully finished basements, especially if you're putting a blacksmith shop in them. Right? It's usually a concrete block basement. So the walls aren't so much an issue. It's the ceiling that you have to concern yourself with. And with that, they make all sorts of fire retardant products and things like that. But really, air is your best friend. An air gap is your best friend for not catching things on fire. Possum Sausage, thank you for being here, brother. Take care. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs too. Do you know a good blacksmith in Wisconsin? I need some work done. News Unit Underground? Yes, there's several. There are several over there. I believe Aaron Circle lives over there. He's a good blacksmith. Pat Nowak. I believe it's Nowak. It's Nowak, I believe. I know his first name like nobody's business, but his last name is kind of hard to pronounce for me. He lives over there. Tom Latinay. He's a master locksmith out of Pepin, Wisconsin. He's another good guy I can definitely recommend. There's a whole host of people over there. What I would say is I would get with the chapter over there. I just did a demonstration for UMBA. It's the Upper Midwest Blacksmithing Association. They're going to be able to point you to the guys in the areas that do the best kind of work. I know Tom Latney, he's like private commission only. I know Pat, as far as I know, he just does mokame. He does like mokame stuff. And and I'm not sure about Aaron Circle. Yep, Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association. I would go check with them, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction with some good smiths, talented smiths over in Wisconsin. They're a pretty tight-knit group, so they handle quite a few states like Minnesota, Wisconsin. They have some members in Michigan, Upper Peninsula. They have Indiana, Illinois. They're kind of like a central hub of the northern-ish, again, the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association. I would say get with them and ask. Yeah, I was first named down Pat. You all are a hoot. You all are a hoot. A hoot nanny. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm ready to kind of call it quits for the evening. I need to pack down a few things in the shop this evening and go in, get washed, and start another day here soon. My grubby little hands film. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for watching this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it some. I hope some of my advice on the business was helpful. And, make sure that you attend the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream. That will be coming here soon, December 16th. Make sure to check that out. If you're interested, I've got great blanks over at the website, blacksmithingblanks.com. Be sure to go check that out. We are in next day turnaround time mode. And me and Thomas has been hopping and making a lot of people's Christmas dreams come true. So go check that out. It's a great way of supporting the channel. So is the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream. Like I said, we'll be giving away $3,000+ worth of tools, blacksmith tools, and things like that as our way of giving back to the community. And so thank you to all of the great channel members that were in here. Thank you to all of the great subscribers that have been in here with me this whole stream, hanging out for 2 hours and 20 minutes. You all are awesome. You are what makes Christ Center Ironworks awesome. So thank you guys for being here. God bless each and every last one of you. I hope you all have a great and blessed rest of your week, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you all. Bye now.